Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Well, it's Monday that I'm recording this. I'm not sure what day you'll be watching it, but hopefully you watch it today. I might post it today. But anyways, today I have a special video for you all. We'll be talking about jobs in the Air Force, right? We're talking about service commitments. We're going to talk about how you can prepare yourself here at the academy to get you to the job that you want. We'll talk a little about the Space Force, and then I'm going to give a little update about my life and where I'm going post-graduation. I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so first things first, there are two different categories of jobs in the Air Force, right? So we have rated and we have non-rated. Rated jobs include pilot, RPAs, which are remote pilot aircraft, or remote pilot aircraft pilots. Then we have CISOs, which are combat system officers, and we have ABMs, which are air battle managers. And then non-rated is essentially everything else that's not that, right? So we have finance, contracting, engineer, airfield ops, basically jobs that are not rated are considered non-rated. As for the commitments for these two, so if you're rated, you typically have a 6 to 10 year service commitment. For instance, for pilots, for not RPA pilots, regular pilots, fixed wing pilots, we get a 10-year, or we incur a 10-year service commitment, not including training. So for instance, let's say I start training in 2024 and I don't get out of training until 2025. 2025 is when that 10 years starts. So it's typically like really just 10 to 12 years, depending on the length of your training, right? But for RPAs, it's only a 6-year service commitment, and I'm sure for a CISO and ABM, I think it's also a 6-year service commitment. So pilot is has the most service commitment. For non-rated jobs, which is everything else, you really only have a 5-year service commitment. That's why most people talk about 5 and dive, like you do your 5 years and get out the Air Force. So jobs that are non-rated have a 5-year service commitment. So you might be wondering, well, how can I position myself to be able to get the job that I want? Well, it depends. You want to go rated, it's a little more complicated than wanting to go non-rated. Let's talk about rated real quick. So to go rated, you have to take, well, everyone takes this test now. Well, it's something called the AFOQT, Air Force Officer Qualifying Test, I think. Don't quote me on that. So you take that test, right? And based on your performance on that test, it gives you a score. And then based on that score and how you rank between everyone else in the class, that will basically give you a possibility of like what job you get, if that makes, well, increases or decreases the chance of getting a job you want, if that makes sense. I'm watering it down a lot. There's a lot more to it, but you basically take a test, right? And your score on that test, and based on your class ranking, your OPA, which is your overall performance appraisal, which is 40% of your MPA, 50% of your GPA, and 10% of your PEA. So your overall ranking combined with your score, your Pixum score is what they call it, which is half and half, that will give you essentially your ranking, and then it determines what job you get, essentially. So, and for the non-rated, it also is really mainly based off of your OPA and how you stack amongst the class. For my year, I believe we have to rank all the jobs in the Air Force, all right, on our sheet. But the top 10 is what mattered the most. So based on your ranking in the top 10, right, is essentially like how you get ranked and stacked. So for instance, if I am number 10 in the class and I put acquisitions number 1, and someone who's 900 in the class put it number 1, I have a high chance of getting it than they are, if that makes sense. So it's all kind of based off your performance and how you do at USAFA. That's why grades matter a lot, but also military matters a lot too. You can have a really high academic standing, but if your military is bad, it's 40%, which is a good hit. Then your overall your OPA will be lower, right? So also, if you focus too much on athletics and don't focus on the other two, you won't have a good OPA because athletics is only 10%. So that's how your rankings determine your jobs, and then just prepare yourself for greatness, I guess. Just don't suck and try your best, and you'll be good. So as for when they pull your OPA, your ranking, my year they pulled it after our second semester of your junior year. So that summer, that's when they pulled everything. So you really have, what is it, 6 semesters to it's 6 semesters to get your head on straight and to get the grades that you want so you can get the job that you want. So there's a lot of time. You have, 3 years to get it done, to get where you need to go. So they pull your ranking and your 5 hours, pick some score if you want to go rated at that time. And then I know that class 2023, they received their jobs in September, like early September, like Parents Weekend, I believe, or before that. But for my class, we received our jobs September 22nd, I believe. I'm not sure, but it was a couple weeks after, like a few weeks after Parents Weekend. We were pretty upset that we got it so late, but hey, we got it. And that's for like where you're gonna go, like your base and stuff. You get that hundreds weekend typically. So for our year, we got it February something, I'm not sure. 100 days into graduation is when we got ours. So everything kind of moves pretty fast after second semester junior year. Everything moves pretty fast. And also, don't think just because your ranking has been pulled, nothing matters anymore. You can still fail classes and you can still get kicked out senior year. So just try to stay on top of it and grind it out to the finish line. It's kind of hard to do that if you have senioritis, but I didn't want to, but still had to grind it out and just push through. So we talked about that. Let's talk briefly about the Space Force. So applying for the Space Force is the same process as applying for any non-rated or rated jobs. But when you're on the website picking what jobs you want, you can click on I want to apply for Space Force. It'll give you Space Force jobs that you can put in your top 10 as well. For instance, I had a Space Force job as my number 2. It was like space engineer or something like that, and I put that there. And then a couple weeks after that, I had to do an interview, a computer interview, and I had to put my uniform on, ask some questions. So they're kind of selective, Space Force. So just keep that in mind if you do want to go to Space Force. And also with that too, but it's also based off your OPA. If you've done any kind of cyber or space things here at USAFA, it kind of helps you out a little bit. So that's something to keep in mind as well. I don't want to make this video too long. I think we're about, I don't know. I don't know if the video looks good. I don't know if I'm recording actually. But anyways, I don't want to make it too long, so I'm going to give a little update on my life so far. So back in September, I received my job assignment. I received 92 Tango 0, so pilot. Woo. So I'm going to be a pilot in the Air Force. And back in February, I received my base. I'll be going to Laughlin Air Force Base in Del Rio, Texas. Middle of nowhere. It was my last choice, but it doesn't matter because I'll still get to fly. All right. And that's for my status before I go to pilot training. Since there's like a backup in the pipeline, pilots typically do a casual term, basically like 6 to 8 months, and you're just at a different base, getting popcorn, just working, right? So my base is USAFA, so I'll be here for another 6 to 8 months. I'll be working here with the aviation program. I'll be teaching AV100. I'm teaching freshmen how to fly the T-53 sims. So if any of you are coming in, I'll probably see you and say hi if I'm a teacher, you know. But yeah, that's kind of all I have for today. Thank you all for subscribing, tuning in, and I really hope you guys have a great week. I wish you the best. If you're applying, you haven't heard back yet, I wish you the best as well. But if you have any questions, just go ahead, comment below, and I'll answer them when I have time and as soon as I can. Thank you.